Hi algebra students, please find your two-way tables with Venn diagrams notes template. We're going to talk about, first of all, what a data table can do for us, and we're going to talk about the difference between categorical and numerical data. So for categorical, and this might come as no surprise, this represents category. So categorical data represents a category. It is everything that is not numerical. It can be word or answer choices. And it can be intervals of numbers. And it's done by a check or an X. For numerical, you probably guessed that that's going to involve numbers. We're going to be a little bit more specific here. This means that it is quantitative variables. It represents a series of numbers. It answers the questions how much or how many. And some examples here would be things like we could talk about height of surveyed people, we could talk about weight, we could talk about distance, we could talk about speed, or maybe like population. There's an infinite number of possibilities here. So jumping into an example, we want to just to determine a given example, whether it's categorical or numerical. If you look at the first one, age and years, that is going to get responses that are numbers. You would probably say I'm 13 or 14. So that's going to be a numerical quantity. So I'm just going to write a capital N for numerical. Volume in cubic feet. That's going to be what's the volume of this pitcher, how much cubic feet can fill the pitcher. That's going to be numerical again. Favorite kind of movie. So you might say comedy or drama or mystery. That is going to be categorical answers. They are not numbers. Type of weekend exercise, you might say running, jumping, playing basketball. That's again a categorical data. Now, data for two variables, and that's actually what we've been talking about with our scatter plots that we just focused on a couple units ago. Data for two variables is called bivariate data, and the prefix means two, so it makes sense that if you're looking at data for two variables, it's called bivariate. So taking a look, this is an example of a two-way table that's already filled in for you, and there's so many different pieces of information going in here. You'll notice that we have rows that are represented by, we're looking at different genders, so we've got male in the top row, female in the bottom row, and then we've got a total column. But we also have columns going on here. The first one is looking at sport utility vehicles called SUVs or sports cars, and then a total column. So we've really got 3 rows going on, 3 columns going on, so 9 different pieces of data. When we want to answer the question how many males were surveyed, we really want to be looking under the male column, or male row, pardon me, at the total column. So this little section of our two-way table is going to give us the answer that this should be 60. And for how many people had an SUV, now we're looking at a row. Sorry about that. We're looking at a column right here. So if we want to focus in on the people that own an SUV, we want to focus in on that column. So how many people? Look at the total. It's 156. How many people were surveyed? We are going to get that by looking at the total row and the total column. So we're looking at this value right here. So that's going to give us a total of 240 people. And for how many males had a sports car, now we've got 2 different things going on. We want to look at the male row and sports car column. So that's going to be this section of our two-way table. So that's going to be 39 individuals that go there. And again, when we look at females having an SUV, that's looking at 2 different things here. We're looking at the female row and the SUV column. So we're looking at this value here, so 135. For example 1, we're looking at a group of 180 students. 110 of them are in the drama club, 80 are in the computer club, and 15 are in both clubs. We're going to look first at making a Venn diagram, and that's this box right here. Now, we did not do a Venn diagram unit yet so far this year, but this is something we might revisit at the end of the year. This whole box represents the entire surveyed population that we're talking about. So within that box, we're going to be looking to place 180 kids. We use a capital U with a tail to represent this is our universal set. This is something that we are just talking about the 180 students. The 2 circles are going to represent the 2 things that we surveyed about. So the first circle is going to be representing drama. And so I'm just going to label that above. That's the drama club. And then we're going to abbreviate for computer club. I'm going to call that C, capital C, computer club. Now let's start with the easiest piece of information. They tell us that 15 students are involved in both clubs. That's going to be the region that they both share. So there are 15 students that are in between drama and computer club because they're in both. Now let's focus on just the drama circle. So if you look at just the drama circle involves the 15 that we've already placed and an open spot for just kids that were involved in drama. So what I want to do is I want to take the total of kids that were involved in drama, which is 110, and I want to subtract the 15 I already have placed because those kids are also included in that count of 110. So if you look at 110 minus 15, that's going to give you 95. That's the students that are just involved in the drama club. So that goes in the circle, part of the circle for drama that is not overlapping with computer club. We'll do the same thing for computer club. We were told there were 80 involved there. We already have placed 15 of those 80, so we're taking 80 minus 15 to get a total of 65. That means 65 students are filled in just computer club. And the last thing we want to do is we want to add up these 3 values, 95, 15, and 65, and get our total. This total is up to 175, which means we have 5 kids that were not placed. That means that of the 180 students that were surveyed, there were 5 students that are going to be floating in the box. They were not in drama and not in computer club. Now we're going to build a two-way table. So let's start with drama. So kids can either be in drama or not drama. And then we've got a total column here. So I've just set up my rows to measure the drama students. Now along the top for the columns, we can have kids that are in computer club, and we can have kids that are not in computer club. And we also need to look at a total situation there. Let's start by filling in the one that we filled in first on the Venn diagram. We had 15 students that were in drama and in computer club. That is represented by this section right here. So our 15 students is going to go right in that top section. Now we're going to look at the kids that were in drama but not in the computer club. That's the kiddos that were in the drama circle but not in the overlap region. So that's going to be our 95 students. And if you total that up quickly, that's 110. And that's what we want. We wanted drama students to total 110. Now let's look at not in drama, but in computer club. Those are the students that are in the CC ring, but not in the overlap. So that's 65 students. And there were 5 students that were not in drama and not in computer club. They were outside in the box. They were the 5. So if we total those up, we get 70 students, not in drama. Our total here is going to be adding 15 and 65 to get 80. 95 and 5 gives me 100, so our total here would be 180. So we just filled in quantities of kids, the actual number that surveyed and told us whether they were in drama or not. So we want to divide the numbers by the total. Kids surveyed 180. This is the universal set, that's the universal total. And we are going to find the relative frequencies. So you'll be able to say a certain percent were in drama and not in computer club, and then so on. So we're going to set up this table just exactly like we did before. So in drama goes here, not drama, and total. In computer club goes here, not computer club goes here, and total here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the table that you have further up on your packet, and we are going to total them out of 180. So we had 15 students in this region out of a total of 180. So we're going to divide that. We're going to get 0.083. To get a percentage, we're going to multiply that by 100. This is approximating, so I'm going to change to squiggly equals. This is about 8.3% of the surveyed students were in drama and in computer club. We'll do the same thing with every single one. So go ahead and go through. The next one you would do 65 out of 180. Divide that. Get a percent by multiplying by 100. This is about 36.1%. So go ahead and do that for the rest of the regions. So go ahead and check with mine. You are still able to find the total columns by dividing by 180, but you also are able to add up your percentages here and get the total percent here. Now these are all rounded to the nearest tenth, except when you get here. What should happen is you should see that the total of totals, you're representing 100% of the data. So for the bottom questions, it says, what patterns can you see in the percentages? Well, hopefully you notice that there are more students in drama. And if you take a look at the two percentages there, we've got 52.8 and 36.1. So this is about 90% in a club. Those are the students that are involved in drama or computer club. So a lot of students are involved in clubs. How many students are at least in one of the two clubs? You're going to add up the 52.8 Those are the students that are involved in drama but not in computer club. 36.1. Those are the students involved in computer club and not drama. And the 8.3 in drama and in computer club is our overlap region. And that's 97.2%. Or you could also look at the total number of kiddos from the table above. That would be 175 kids. All but 5 are involved in a club. How many students are not in one of the clubs? That's 5. And that's about 2.8%. So make sure you bring any questions to your teacher the next instructional day, and make sure that you're completing your practice worksheets on two-way tables.